Did you ever ask this question, that people had gone to prison and it was totally wrong?
No.
So let's get into the deep dive and listen to her testimony.
Did it ever occur to you from 2010 onwards that the ghastly prospect of miscarriages of justice was occurring on your watch?
Sorry, when you say on my watch, what do you mean?
Edward Henry asks Van den Bogerd about miscarriages of justice on her watch, and she says, "What do you mean on my watch?" This is pure pedantics by Van den Bogerd with her trying to make the KC look silly. She knew perfectly well what Edward Henry was saying, but she just played the I don't know card. I don't know and I can't recall are popular words with those in charge, especially when they know they've been trapped. We'll keep going and listen in.
Well, as you rose higher and higher in the organisation and as you were given more and more responsibility, did it ever occur to you that the prosecutorial policy of the Post Office was sending innocent people to prison?
No, I trusted that they were following...
Could you keep your voice up, please?
Sorry. No, I trusted that function were following due process.
And I'm going to suggest to you that there are a number of compelling reasons, aren't there, why the answer you've just given, and in fact the evidence you have given already to this inquiry, oughtn't necessarily to be believed.
Edward Henry tells Van den Bogerd that her testimony to the inquiry ought not be believed, and basically saying she is lying without actually calling her a liar. She says not really. So does that mean she is in some agreement with the KC, or again, is it childishness on her part, and she's not taking things seriously?
I don't think so.
The High Court litigation has left you with a credibility problem, hasn't it?
In terms of Justice Fraser's comments about me in the first trial.
It's not just because of what the judge said about your evidence, but because of what you said on oath. Can you not see that?
Sorry, I don't know what you mean.
Well, you're now tied to that account, aren't you? What you said in those two trials, you are now tied to, aren't you?
At the time when I made the statements, I believe...
Now watch closely as Van den Bogerd answers the question, and you'll see her knuckles are turning white. This is a woman under a lot of pressure and is trying to maintain the stony face and attitude during her grilling by the KC.
them to be correct. I was cross-examined on both and made some corrections through that process as well. But yes, that was my evidence.
You are now tied to what you said on those trials, for example, in relation to remote access.
Yes, at the time I believed that to be correct.
You're worried, aren't you, that if you now admit that you knew about remote access way back in 2010, you'll be liable for perjury. Isn't that the truth?
No.
Van den Bogerd is told by Edward Henry KC that she is worried now because she might have committed perjury. And although she is keeping the poker face facade, she is a very worried woman and knows that the pressure on her will be kept up no matter how much she may think otherwise. I think this is an indictment of her true nature, cold and callous.
Angela, further to my voicemail message on Friday, please find below the email I have received from Lynn Hobbs. So it follows, mustn't it, in order for your account to be consistent, that he'd sent you a voicemail, left a voicemail, and that didn't register with you, correct?
So what I've said is I didn't read this. I don't remember seeing this at all. I haven't responded.
I'm asking you about the voicemail.
So if you left me a voicemail, I don't know what that would have said at the time because I can't remember that far back.
Edward Henry is asking Van den Bogerd about a voicemail left for her, and she answers, "I don't remember seeing this." But he tells her that he is asking about a voicemail. And this is where the poker face slips and she starts to stumble over her words and then reverts to the oven ready. I can't remember excuse. It's truly amazing how these so-called professionals have such short memories regarding certain things and seem to suffer from a form of selective amnesia.
All I'm saying is I genuinely do not remember reading any of this context back in 2010.
Genuine's doing some pretty heavy lifting in there, isn't it, Mrs. van den Bogerd?
That's my recollection.
Are you being dishonest about this now, or were you inexcusably negligent at the time?
I'm not being dishonest about it. And had this registered with me at the time, if I'd seen it, I would have had a different outlook on what's come next, but I clearly didn't because I hadn't read it at the time.
So there we have it. Van den Bogerd doesn't remember. Things didn't register with her. She says she wasn't dishonest about certain things, but then that makes her negligent if you hear how the question was phrased by Edward Henry. She says she would have had a different outlook on things if items had registered with her. I get the impression that this is someone who knows they have been caught out and are doing anything to further their cause of deniability. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video of taking a closer look at Van den Bogerd's character and her involvement in the Horizon IT scandal, and please leave me a comment below on who you think should be the next candidate for a deep dive video.